NXT review 16th of April 2024. Let's get into it. So the show opens up with Dijak and Noam Dar in the opening match, and this was an absolute banger. There were a couple bangers throughout the night, but this match really delivered. If there's one match you're going to watch from the show, I'd suggest this match out of all the matches. Absolute banger. Dijak actually lost, so Noam Dar got the surprise win, which actually shocked me. Oro Mensah ended up distracting Dijak, which I think is going to somehow fit into this NXT North American Championship that Oro Mensah is saying he's going to end Obafemi's title reign, but it's going to all fit in the long run. But anyway, Noam Dar ended up hitting his Nova Roller and got the win over Dijak. Huge win for him, and I'm expecting a push coming his way. Then we had Ava and Ilja Dragunov backstage, where Ava said it's not fair that Trick has a match this week when you have your title match next week. So they suggested a match for Ilja, and Ilja basically said, let's do an open challenge, so expect something later in the night. We then got a Tatum Paxley video package after she attacked Lyra Valkyrie last week, and this basically explained that Tatum Paxley was more concerned about the object of the NXT Women's Championship, the actual title, rather than the person holding it. It was just, you holding it, so I'm going to admire you, I'm going to protect you. And she says she's done with that. It's now her time to hold that title and to have a title in her hands. We then had Ruca take on Lola Vice, and pretty average match, nothing spectacular. Blair Davenport actually got involved and cost Ruca the match because they've been feuding for quite a while, so they now have a match at Spring Breakin'. And then after the match, when Lola got the win, Natalya popped up on the big screen and challenged Lola to a match at Spring Breakin'. And not just any match, an NXT Underground match, so like the old Raw Underground, and I think we had an NXT Underground last year. We had a specific match. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be a lot of fun. So let's see where that goes. Then I'm just going to touch on this real quick because it's cringe as hell. But we had Ariana Grace and Gigi Dolan have segments throughout the nights about Ariana Grace giving Gigi a new look. And then Gigi basically at the end of the day just adjusted the look that Ariana gave her. It's just not for me, man. It's just not for me. But anyway, that was throughout the night. Go watch it for yourself if it's something you're interested in. But cringe. It's just the segments do not fit a wrestling show. We then had Ridge Holland, after his retirement that lasted about 2.5 weeks, take on. Before I get on, what's with that? What's with that? What is with that? No one is ever gonna live up to Mark Henry's salmon suit outfit retirements. Just don't try these retirement speeches. Anyway, Ridge Holland takes on Joaquin Wilde. Ridge Holland kind of makes light work of Joaquin Wilde. Joaquin Wilde is absolutely a monster when it comes to these high-flying moves and the things he does. It's actually shocking that he's still stuck in a tag team with someone with as little charisma as Cruz del Toro. But we'll leave it at that. The LWO is doing their thing. Anyway, Ridge Holland ended up getting the win, but Shawn Spears was watching the match from the ramp. As Ridge Holland walks out, he gives Shawn Spears a little bit of a bump, like, you're in my way, keep walking. And yeah, I'm sure something is going to develop from that. So I'm quite interested to see where that goes. We then had Andre Chase and Thea Hail backstage, where Andre was basically explaining to him the whole story with last year where he went into the betting angle or the betting situation and he lost the money. And he was explaining to Thea that he cared more about her than the money at that point. And then Thea Hail said, why didn't you tell me? I treated you like rubbish. And then, yeah, that ended up with them making up and hugging and a good moment, but I don't really know what the point of all of it was. I don't know where this takes them in the story. Is it just something to keep it going for 2 weeks and then we're back to normal? I don't get it. We then had the family come out to the ring looking good, looking in their full gimmick. The Don looking like a real mafia boss. And then he cut a promo basically saying it's not over. He may have lost at Standard Deliver. He may have not delivered, but he will not give up. And then out come No Quarter Catch Crew. And we went from all the charisma to absolutely no charisma. No Quarter Catch Crew. They in deep waters, man. They in deep waters. Charlie Dempsey tries talking with the Don. He's got nothing, no emotion, no. He needs work on his mic skills. He needs a lot of work on his mic skills. But I'm not saying he can't do it. But he needs a lot of work. It's just not. It wasn't good. It was awkward. The crowd went silent and not in a ooh, I'm listening way. More in like a I don't really care way. So yeah, and then they basically broke out in a brawl and then we faded to black. Then we had Ilja Dragunov's open challenge, and the whole NXT locker room came out, which I absolutely love. Everybody taking their shots against the NXT champion, seeing if they can beat him and perhaps earn themselves a title match. That was great. But who comes out from behind everybody, or not behind everybody, rather behind Ilja? And that was Javon Evans, the young OG. He's bouncy and he showed it. He ran through the crowd, jumped off the announce table onto the ring apron, springboarded over Ilja, and stood in front of him. Match was on. And this match absolutely cooked. They have found their next Ricochet. They have found their next high flyer to do absolutely crazy shit. This man is so talented in what he does. I can see him definitely being on the main roster sooner than we think, just because he's got the height, he's got the athleticism. He's not just a small guy that can do the stuff. He's got some size on him. He's got some height and everything on him. He's got charisma, as we saw from last week. Banger match. Ilja will have a banger match with anybody, but you can see this Javon Evans was putting in the work. The young OG was working, and at the end of the day, Ilja got the win, but not without some near falls. So he really made Javon look good. Ilja got the win, and we move on to the next one. We then had Thea Hail versus Tatum Paxley. Standard match, nothing spectacular. Tatum Paxley ended up getting the win after JC Jane cost Thea Hail the match. And then that ended up in a big brawl between Thea Hail, JC, and all of them. And then Lyra came out and actually attacked Tatum Paxley. So we're seeing Lyra Valkyrie so soon already. They went at a brawl at it. And then after that, we got Rox Sam Perez in a backstage interview saying, well, maybe next week they can go one-on-one and we can see who challenges me at Spring Breakin'. This is an easy job. I don't get why Ava complains all the time. So in comes Ava and makes it a triple threat at Spring Breakin' between Roxanne, Tatum Paxley, and Lyra Valkyrie. I'm in for that match. Tatum Paxley is taking the pin, but I'm here for that match. We then had Idris Anove and Malik Blade taking on AOP. As we saw, AOP evolved themselves into NXT last week. And easy work for AOP. Dominance match as expected. Malik Blade and Idris Anove got off some offense, but of course AOP just absolutely dominated and got the win at the end of the day. Standing tall was AOP, but Axiom and Nathan Frazier, the new NXT Tag Team Champions, were on the ramp, or on the entranceway, and they were basically holding the titles up to AOP, assuming that we're going to get a match real soon, if it hasn't already been announced. Then before the main event, we had Ivar from Raw taking on Josh Briggs, who has broken ribs, and banger match, nice hard-hitting match. Ivar has been cooking lately. Josh Briggs has been really putting in his own work as a singles competitor. With that being said, decent match, and Ivar got the win with his moonsault, and he's now moving on to Femi, because that was the stipulation, but that was what they decided between themselves. Whoever gets the win gets to take on Femi. And of course, Josh Briggs still looks strong because he had broken ribs. Then we move on to the main event, the match we had been waiting for, and that is Trick Williams taking on Carmelo Hayes for the second time, this time in a steel cage. Now, this match was good. Arguably better than their stand and deliver match, because their stand and deliver match did not deliver. It was boring, it was slow, the right person won, but the finish was just out of nowhere and it didn't build nicely towards the finish. The match wasn't it. This match was good. This match cooked. They worked hard. They showed what they can do. Steel cage, obviously a different stipulation. All of Carmelo Hayes' bodyguards got in, or his security got in. Trick did some light work of them. Carmelo Hayes had a chair in his hand. Trick hit his big knee and onto him with the chair in front of him. Therefore, Trick Williams beats Carmelo Hayes twice now. I'm surprised about that. And we move on to the match between Trick and Ilja Dragunov next week at Spring Breakin'. And if Trick loses, he leaves NXT. So NXT was a decent show, some absolute banger matches, some filler matches like usual. But the banger matches really stood out. Some really, really good matches. Spring Breakin' is going to be good next week. They've got some good matches. I'm excited for it. I'll be breaking it down. I'll be reviewing it here next week, and you'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.